Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Emma, your host. Today's episode is a special one. Our guest is someone whose story has inspired millions of people around the world. Many of you grew up watching his journey, from a quiet boy who lived in a cupboard under the stairs to someone who faced darkness and helped save the wizarding world. Harry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Emma. I'm really happy to be here. I have to say, this is probably one of the calmest conversations I've had in a long time.
I imagine your life usually involves a lot more excitement than a podcast studio.
That's true, but honestly, I enjoy moments like this. Sometimes it's nice to slow down and talk about life instead of constantly running toward the next challenge.
That's actually something many people struggle with, slowing down and reflecting on their experiences. Your story is filled with adventure, but behind all the magic, there's a very human journey. Let's start at the beginning. When you first discovered you were a wizard, what was going through your mind?
Confusion, mostly. For most of my childhood, I believed I was just an ordinary boy. I lived with relatives who never explained anything about my past. Then suddenly I learned there was an entire world hidden from me. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you believed about yourself was incomplete.
That must have been overwhelming.
It really was, but at the same time, it was exciting. For the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Hogwarts felt like home almost immediately.
Belonging is such an important feeling. Many people spend years trying to find a place where they feel accepted.
Yes, and when you finally find it, something changes inside you. You start believing in yourself more.
But even at Hogwarts, things weren't always easy for you.
Not at all. There were expectations everywhere. People already had opinions about me because of something that happened when I was a baby. They saw a legend, but I was just a student trying to learn spells and avoid embarrassing mistakes in class.
That sounds like a lot of pressure for someone so young.
It was, and there were moments when I wondered if people would still respect me if they knew how uncertain I felt.
That's something many listeners might relate to. Sometimes people think everyone else has confidence except them.
Exactly. But the truth is, most people are still figuring things out. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from learning through experience.
That's a powerful point. Confidence grows through action, not perfection.
Right. Some of the most important lessons I learned came from mistakes, and believe me, I made plenty of them.
Can you share one moment that really changed the way you see yourself?
One moment that stands out happened during my early years at Hogwarts. I remember realizing that the choices I made mattered more than my abilities.
That sounds familiar. It reminds me of something Professor Dumbledore once said to you.
Yes, he told me that it is our choices that show who we truly are, far more than our abilities. That idea stayed with me for the rest of my life.
What did that lesson mean to you personally?
It meant that even if you're not the most talented or the smartest person in the room, you can still choose courage. You can still choose kindness. Those choices shape who you become.
I love that idea. It gives people control over their own story.
Exactly. Life isn't always fair. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond.
Let's talk about fear for a moment. Your story includes many moments where you faced real danger. How did you deal with that fear?
To be honest, fear was always there. Anyone who says they're never afraid is probably not telling the truth.
So bravery doesn't mean being fearless.
Not at all. Bravery is about moving forward even when fear is present. It's about deciding that something else is more important than your fear.
What helped you make that decision?
People around me. When you care deeply about others, protecting them becomes more important than protecting yourself.
That's a beautiful way to describe courage.
Friendship played a huge role in everything I did. Ron and Hermione weren't just companions. They were the reason I had the strength to continue during the darkest moments.
Tell us more about that friendship.
Ron reminded me that life could still be joyful, even during difficult times. Hermione challenged me to think carefully and never give up when a problem seemed impossible. Together, we balanced each other out, and that's what true friendship does.
Many people think success comes from individual strength, but your story shows the power of teamwork.
Yes, no one achieves great things alone. Even the strongest people need support.
Let's talk about something deeper, the idea of darkness and light within people. In your journey, you encountered individuals who chose very different paths.
That's true. One thing I learned is that every person has the ability to choose between kindness and cruelty. Sometimes the difference between those paths is one small decision.
So our daily choices shape the direction of our lives.
Exactly. And those choices don't always feel dramatic or heroic. Sometimes they're small moments, choosing honesty instead of lying, compassion instead of anger.
Those small decisions can slowly build the kind of person we become.
Yes, and over time, they shape the world around us too.
If you could speak to your younger self, the boy who first arrived at Hogwarts, what advice would you give him?
I would tell him not to carry everything alone. I spent a lot of time believing that I had to face certain problems by myself.
But you eventually realized that wasn't true.
Yes, strength doesn't mean isolation. True strength often comes from trusting others.
That's an important lesson, especially today when many people feel pressure to appear strong all the time.
Exactly. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's honesty.
Another theme in your story is sacrifice. Some characters made incredible sacrifices to protect others.
Yes, and those moments taught me that love can be the most powerful force in the world.
That might sound simple, but it carries a lot of meaning.
It does. Fear and power can control people for a while, but love inspires people to protect others and stand up for what is right.
Do you believe that love was ultimately the reason darkness was defeated?
In many ways, yes. The people who stood against darkness did so because they cared about others more than themselves.
That kind of courage is rare, but incredibly inspiring.
I think many people have that courage inside them. They just don't realize it until the moment comes.
Before we close today's conversation, I want to ask you one final question. When you look back at your journey now, how do you see your life?
I see it as a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they stand together. I never believed I was special because of my abilities. What made the difference were the people who believed in me.
That's a beautiful message.
And I hope anyone listening remembers this. Your story doesn't need magic to be meaningful. Every person has moments where they can choose courage, kindness, and hope.
Harry, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thank you, Emma. It was wonderful talking with you.
And thank you to everyone listening. If today's conversation reminds us of anything, it's that true strength doesn't come from power or fame. It comes from the choices we make, the friendships we build, and the love we share with others. This is Emma, and we'll see you in the next episode.